Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to our channel, like it, and leave your comments. Exodus 13. 1. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, 2. Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, which openeth every womb among the children of Israel, of man and of beast, because mine is. 3. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this very day, in which ye came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for with a strong hand the Lord brought you out of here, therefore ye shall not eat leavened bread. 4. Today, in the month of Abib, you go out. 5. And it shall come to pass, when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and of the Hittites, and of the Amorites, and of the Hivites, and of the Jebusites, which he swore to thy fathers that he would give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this worship this month. 6. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day shall be a feast to the Lord. 7. Unleavened bread shall be eaten for 7 days, and leavened bread shall not be seen with you, neither shall leaven be seen in all your borders. 8. And on that very day thou shalt make it known to thy son, saying, This is for what the Lord did to me, when I came out of Egypt. 9. And it shall be a sign to you on your hand, and a reminder between your eyes, that the law of the Lord may be in your mouth, for with a mighty hand the Lord brought you out of Egypt. 10. Therefore thou shalt keep this statute in its season, from year to year. 11. It will also come to pass, when the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your fathers when he gave it to you. 12. You shall set apart for the Lord everything that opens the womb and every firstling of the animals that you bear, the males will be the Lord's. 13. But every firstborn of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb, and if you do not rescue him, you will cut off his head, but all the firstborn of man among your children you shall redeem. 14. And when your son asks you in the future, saying, What is this? You shall say to him, With a mighty hand the Lord brought us out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. 15. For it came to pass, when Pharaoh hardened himself, that he would not let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of man to the firstborn of beast. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all the firstborn, being males, but every firstborn of my sons I redeem. 16. And it shall be for a sign upon your hand, and for frontals between your eyes, for the Lord, with a mighty hand, brought us out of Egypt. 17. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh let the people go, that God did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, which was nearer, for God said, Lest the people repent when they see war, and return to Egypt. 18. But God made the people go round by way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and armed, the children of Israel went up from the land of Egypt. 19. And Moses took with him the bones of Joseph, because he had solemnly sworn to the children of Israel, saying, Surely God will visit you, so bring my bones up from here with you. 20. So they departed from Succos, and encamped in Ethan, at the entrance of the desert. 21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to guide them along the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, that they might travel by day and by night. 22. He never removed the pillar of cloud by day or the pillar of fire by night from before the people. Exodus 14. 1. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, 2. Speak to the children of Israel to turn back, and to encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, before Baal-zephon, in front of it you shall settle the field by the sea. 3. Then Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, They are straitened in the land, the wilderness has shut them up. 4. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, so that he will pursue them, and I will be glorified in Pharaoh and in all his army, and the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. And they did so. 5. When it was told to the king of Egypt that the people were fleeing, the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people, and they said, Why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? 6. And he made ready his chariot, and took his people with him. 7. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over them all. 8. For the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh king of Egypt, that he pursued the children of Israel, but the children of Israel went out with a high hand. 9. And the Egyptians pursued them, all Pharaoh's horses and chariots, and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamped by the sea, near Pi-hahiroth, before Baal-zephon. 10. And when Pharaoh approached, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and, behold, the Egyptians followed after them, and they feared greatly, so the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. 11. And they said to Moses, Were there no tombs in Egypt, to bring us out of there, to die in this wilderness? Why did you do this to us, bringing us out of Egypt? 12. Is not this the word that we spoke to you in Egypt, saying, Let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For what better would it have been for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert? 13. Moses, however, said to the people, Fear not, stand still, and see the deliverance of the Lord, which he will work for you today, for the Egyptians, whom you have seen today, you will never see them again. 14. The Lord will fight for you, and you will be silent. 15. Then the Lord said to Moses, Why do you cry to me? Tell the children of Israel to march. 16. And thou, lift up thy rod, and stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it, that the children of Israel may pass through the midst of the sea on dry ground. 17. And, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall go in after them, and I will be glorified in Pharaoh and in all his army, in his chariots and in his horsemen. 18. And the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord, when I am glorified in Pharaoh, in his chariots and in his horsemen. 19. And the angel of God, who went before the army of Israel, withdrew, and went after them, the pillar of cloud also withdrew from before them, and stood behind them. 20. And it went between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and the cloud was darkness to those, and to them it cleared the night, so that during the whole night they did not approach each other. 21. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all that night, and the sea became dry, and the waters were parted. 22. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea on dry land, and the waters were like a wall to them on their right and on their left. 23. And the Egyptians followed them, and went in after them all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots and his horsemen, into the midst of the sea. 24. And it came to pass, that in the watch of that morning the Lord, in the pillar of fire and cloud, saw the field of the Egyptians, and he stirred up the field of the Egyptians. 25. And he took away their chariot wheels, and they hardly governed them. Then said the Egyptians, Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fights for them against the Egyptians. 26. And the Lord said to Moses, Stretch out your hand over the sea, that the waters may come back on the Egyptians, on their chariots, and on their horsemen. 27. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength at dawn, and the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. 28. For the waters, returning, covered the chariots and horsemen of all Pharaoh's army, which had followed them into the sea, none of them stayed. 29. But the children of Israel went through the dry sea, and the waters were like a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. 30. So the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the shore of the sea. 31. And Israel saw the great hand which the Lord had shown to the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord, and believed the Lord, and Moses his servant. Exodus 15. 1. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song to the Lord, and they spoke, saying, I will sing to the Lord, for he has gloriously triumphed, he has hurled the horse and its rider into the sea. 2. The Lord is my strength and my song, he went to me for salvation, this is my God, therefore I will make him a habitation, he is the God of my father, therefore I will exalt him. 3. The Lord is a man of war, the Lord is his name. 4. He hurled Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea, and her chosen princes were drowned in the Red Sea. 5. The depths covered them, they went down to the depths like a stone. 6. Your right hand, O Lord, has become glorious in power, your right hand, O Lord, has dashed the enemy in pieces. 7. And in the greatness of your excellency you overthrew those who rose up against you, you sent out your wrath, it consumed them like stubble. 8. And with the breath of your nostrils the waters piled up, the streams stopped like a heap, the abysses congealed in the heart of the sea. 9. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoils, my soul will be satisfied with them, I will draw my sword, my hand will destroy them. 10. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them, they sank like lead in mighty waters. 11. O Lord, who is like you among the gods? Who is like you, glorified in holiness, admirable in praises, performing wonders? 12. You stretched out your right hand, the earth swallowed them up. 13. You, with your kindness, led this people, whom you saved, with your strength you brought him to the habitation of your holiness. 14. The peoples heard him, they shuddered, a pain seized the inhabitants of Philistia. 15. Then the princes of Edom were astonished, the mighty of the Moabites trembled, all the inhabitants of Canaan melted away. 16. Astonishment and dread fell upon them, by the greatness of your arm they were as still as a stone, until thy people pass over, O Lord, until the people pass over which thou hast purchased. 17. Thou shalt bring them in, and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thy dwelling, in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. 18. The Lord will reign forever and ever. 19. For Pharaoh's horses, with his chariots, and with his horsemen, went into the sea, and the Lord caused the waters of the sea to return upon them, but the children of Israel passed through the midst of the sea on dry ground. 20. Then Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took the tambourine in her hand, and all the women went out after her with tambourines and with dancing. 21. And Miriam answered them, Sing to the Lord, for he has gloriously triumphed, and she hurled the horse and its rider into the sea. 22. Then Moses caused the Israelites to depart from the Red Sea, and they went out into the desert of Shur, and they walked 3 days in the wilderness, and found no water. 23. Then they came to Marah, but they could not drink the waters of Marah, because they were bitter, therefore the place was called Marah. 24. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, What shall we drink? 25. And he cried to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree, which he threw into the waters, and the waters were made sweet. There he gave them statutes and an ordinance, and there he proved them. 26. And he said, If thou wilt diligently heed the voice of the Lord thy God, and do that which is right in his eyes, and incline thine ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, none of the diseases will I put upon thee, which I have put upon Egypt, for I am the Lord who heals you. 27. Then they came to Elim, and there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and there they encamped by the waters. Exodus 16. 1. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel departing from Elim, came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month, after their departure from the land of Egypt. 2. And all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron in the wilderness. 3. And the children of Israel said to them, Would that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we were sitting by the pots of meat, when we ate bread to the full. Because you have brought us into this wilderness to starve this whole multitude to death. 4. Then the Lord said to Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people will go out and gather their portion daily, that I may prove whether they walk in my law or not. 5. And it shall come to pass, on the 6th day, that they shall prepare what they gather, and it will be twice as much as they gather each day. 6. Then Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, At evening you shall know that the Lord brought you out of the land of Egypt. 7. And tomorrow you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your murmurings against the Lord. And who are we, that you murmur against us? 8. And Moses said, This shall be when the Lord shall give you meat to eat in the evening, and bread to satisfy you in the morning, for the Lord has heard your murmurings, with which you murmur against him. And who are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. 9. And Moses said unto Aaron, Say unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, Draw nigh unto the presence of the Lord, for he hath heard your murmurings. 10. And it came to pass, when Aaron spake unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and they turned towards the wilderness, behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. 11. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, 12. I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, Between the 2 evenings you shall eat flesh, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread, and you will know that I am the Lord your God. 13. And it came to pass that in the evening quails came up, and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay all around the camp. 14. And when the dew rose, behold, there was a small, round thing on the face of the desert, as small as frost on the ground. 15. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, What is this? Because they didn't know what it was. Moses therefore said to them, This is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat. 16. This is the word that the Lord has commanded, Gather from it each one according to what he can eat, an omer per head, according to the number of your souls, each shall take it for those found in his tent. 17. And the children of Israel did so, and they reaped, some more and some less. 18. But as he measured it with the omer, he who gathered much did not have excess, nor did he lack who gathered little, each plucked as much as he could eat. 19. And Moses said to them, Let no one leave him for tomorrow. 20. They, however, would not listen to Moses, rather some of them left him for the next day, and he bred worms, and it stank, therefore Moses was angry with them. 21. So they gathered it every morning, each according to what he could eat, because, warming the sun, it melted. 22. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one, and all the princes of the congregation came and told Moses. 23. And he said to them, This is what the Lord has said, Tomorrow is rest, the holy Sabbath of the Lord. What you want to bake in the oven, boil it, and what you want to boil in water, boil it in water, and whatever remains, keep for yourselves until tomorrow. 24. And they kept it until the next day, as Moses had commanded, and it didn't smell bad, nor was there any worm in it. 25. Then Moses said, Eat it today, for today is the Sabbath of the Lord, today you will not find him in the field. 26. 6 days ye shall gather it, but the 7th day is the Sabbath, there will not be in it. 27. And it came to pass on the 7th day, that some of the people went out to gather, but they did not find it. 28. Then said the Lord to Moses, How long will you refuse to keep my commandments and my laws? 29. See, because the Lord has given you the Sabbath, therefore on the 6th day he gives you bread for 2 days, let each one stay in his place, no one leave his place on the 7th day. 30. So the people rested on the 7th day. 31. And the house of Israel called its name manna, and it was like white coriander seed, and its taste was like cakes with honey. 32. And Moses said, This is the word which the Lord hath commanded, Thou shalt fill an omer of it, and keep it for your generations, that they may see the bread which I fed you in this wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Egypt. 33. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a vessel, and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it before the Lord, to keep it for your generations. 34. As the Lord had commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it before the testimony, to be kept. 35. And the children of Israel ate manna 40 years, until they came to an inhabited land. They ate manna until they reached the borders of the land of Canaan. 36. And an omer is the 10th part of an ephah. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to our channel, like it, and leave your comments.